So when some pundits are saying this,
For me, Usyk wins.
I think Usyk beats Fury.
but others are saying this.
Yeah, I think Tyson Fury on points.
The best Tyson should beat the best Usyk.
Yes, with so many contradictions, many different opinions between us lovely boxing fans, it tells us we should be in for an absolute treat. Well, if it does actually happen. No, come on, fuck me, it's got to happen this time, innit? Although because the anticipation is so high, because the negotiations, the reschedule, the build-up has all been absolutely mental, after all this, do you know what? It'll probably end up being a fucking draw, won't it? Probably get a dodgy scorecard or controversy, something nuts might happen, maybe Conor McGregor has a couple too many keys and judo chops Ronaldo, fight gets stopped, fuck knows. But I bet we're in store for a bit of madness somehow. Still, let me run you through this epic night and give it some final thoughts, but make sure you don't forget to let me know your predicos in the comments. Oh yes. So firstly, it's not just about old Fury and Usyk, it may be the undisputed with a whopping 8 belts on the line, but the card is rather sexy as well. So starting near the bottom, we've got Moses Atuma fighting another apprentice fucking plumber, fuck me. No, well he's got a decent record this bloke, but don't be fooled. He's been knocked out by Tom Schwartz on 2 separate occasions, so yeah, this will be a piece of piss for old Moses. And I do love Moses, I expect very big things for him in the future, but time's time, need a competitive fight now anyway. So I'm sure that fight will last the best part of 2 rounds, but then we're on to Mark Chamberlain, returning against Joshua Wahab. Now young Josh is a bit of an unknown quantity, all of his fights have been over Africa way, other than the loss to Liam Dillon, so we don't exactly know how good he is, other than the fact that he clearly can crack. However, Chamberlain is in fine form, and having fought at a much higher level, his experience and ability should overpower the Nigerian, which leads us on to the very experienced Sergei Kovalev, making his return to the ring against Robin Safar. Yeah, me neither. Now, even though this guy shows a decent record, there's no names of note, so it's probably one of them dodgy American padded records. One of them that when they do finally meet someone who knows what they're doing, they get absolutely fucking walloped. So I reckon this is going to be a bit of an easy touch for Kovalev to get him active again, because having not fought since 2022 and with only 6 fights in 6 years, he's bound to be a bit rusty, plus at 41 years old, who knows how much he's got left. But then the card starts to get juicy, baby. A very interesting heavyweight matchup in Caballero versus Sanchez. And yeah, tough one to call this one. Caballero come to our attention after beating a very poor Chisora, but has burst onto the world scene after destroying Macklin Moodley Diddley-Dov. Back last year in the Day of Reckoning, we certainly didn't fucking expect that. Then Frankie Boy comes off a solid win on the same night over Junior Farr, who fair to say is way below his level, but still the knockout shows how double dangerous this man can be. And with wins over the likes of a Jagbar, this man is clearly a real handful. Caballero is a dainty little mover, but he's also showed he has a bit of power as well, so it could be a rather 50-50 this one. I'm maybe favouring Sanchez though due to the explosiveness, but it's a hard one to pick. And then it's on to the Welsh wizard defending his IBF title against Ireland's Anthony Cacace. Yes, old Anthony is a heavy underdog, as you could have guessed, though he is a bit awkward with his long reach, his movement, and he's always up for a little war. But you know, it's easy to see Cordina shining once again since Cacace has fought nowhere near his level. But to get the knockout, Joe may have to nail this man to the canvas. Either way should be a decent scrap. But then, the fight that could steal the show, even if the main event is an undisputed heavyweight cracker, yes, Jai Opetaia and Marius Bradis, can be nothing but an absolutely filthy savage brawl. Now, we've seen it once before, back in 2022, Marius broke Jai's jaw in 2 places early on, but Jai toughed it out to win by decision, an incredible feat considering his mouth was hanging off his fucking head. Since then, Opetaia has looked outstanding, going on to demolish Jordan Thompson and Ellis Zoro, whereas Bradis hasn't fought any opponents since that day. Mainly because he's been running around trying to get the Jake Paul fight. I don't quite understand that one, but whatever, butters your fucking bread. So yeah, Opetaia is the favourite, however Bradis is an absolute brawler. He'll make it another slugfest guaranteed. Out of everyone Usyk has fought, many feel this man gave him his toughest test, with some even thinking he won the fight, so that tells you how good he is, but how the inactivity will affect him remains to be seen. Regardless, don't take your eyes off this little ditty, it's bound to whet your appetite for the main event. And speaking of, let's get into it, shall we? It's finally here, it's still clouded with uncertainty, but we will finally find out who is the king after all these years. As long as it ain't a fucking draw, definitely don't count that out. Well, just before we get into that, can I just borrow you for 30 seconds to remind you lovely boxing fans about Boxing Showtimes, the ultimate app for passionate fans. This little beauty offers it all, from a detailed schedule to comprehensive information on each event, along with the tale of the tapes, the fight times, ticket sources, sources, up-to-date undercard lineups and a boatload of technical overviews on each of your favourite fighters. Check out all the juicy details about the undisputed Fury vs Usyk, the 5 vs 5 all right here, and read all the hot news stories bubbling up in the boxing world. Ain't it fucking blinding, eh? So use my promo code below for access to all the ad-free premium features. Everything a boxing fan could ever need. Now for what it's worth, Fury has been a little bit different of late. For a couple of years all we heard was Usyk's a middleweight, it's an easy fight, etc, and he came to the first presser all guns blazing, screaming, shouting and trying to belittle the Ukrainian.
You know what's coming, you're getting smashed to pieces, sausage. Look at him, his heart's pounding now. It's like a little pussy with an earring in. You fucking pussy.
I'm very happy.
But recently there's been a bit of a change. Now we know Tyson can be a bit up and down, but has he realised it's a waste of energy because Usyk can't be fazed by all this stuff, or has he just come to the realisation that he's in the fight of his life? Because now the tone has drastically changed.
Usyk's a bad man, and any underestimation of Oleksandr Usyk, you'd be a mug. So I'm training hard for him, I'm doing everything I can. I respect Usyk as a man, and I respect his career as well. He's been Olympic champion, and he's been an undisputed cruiserweight champion. He's been a unified heavyweight, well he is a unified heavyweight champion.
So yes, he's absolutely brilliant when he's talking like this, old Tyson. All the jibes and insults are entertaining, but ultimately it's just a facade because the respect he has for Usyk is well and truly there. Now with the postponement back in February, he's had around 6 to 7 months of preparation for this fight, so we're likely to see him at the very peak of his fitness, meaning we're bound to see a much sharper Fury than the Chisora and Ngannou fights. It's highly doubtful we'll see a performance replicating those. Guaranteed this Fury's going to be strong. He's certainly going to try to be aggressive and overpowering, and personally I reckon the only thing on his mind is a knockout, because 21 before him have tried and 21 have failed to outbox or outwork the Ukrainian. This is mainly due to his mental draining of opponents and his huge output, which causes nightmares for everyone, and as good as Fury is, he's still never been able to match the intensity and the output of Usyk over 12 rounds. For example, he threw nearly 1,000 punches in the Michael Hunter fight, the majority of which were after round 4, a figure hardly ever seen in the bigger weight divisions. Okay, that may have been cruiserweight a few years back, so derive from that what you will, but still it's pretty impressive. Either way, Fury will know he'll need to preserve his energy for the later rounds where Usyk usually comes on strong, so instead of a really fast start like he did in the second Wilder fight, he may just bide his time this time around, so he's still got enough in the tank late on to knock him out, I think. Or maybe he'll try steamroll him straight away to finish it early, fuck knows. But yeah, this could be a bad tactic, because if Usyk survives it and Fury tires himself out, Usyk's going to have a field day towards the back end. More likely the first few rounds will be very cagey with not a lot going on. Now Ben Davison said something double interesting the other day.
But Usyk, I think people's got this misconception of Usyk that he's like this back foot run around the ring. He's very aggressive, very aggressive.
Yeah, I suppose he's right, he is actually a lot more aggressive than we may have realised, but saying this, outside of Fury's power, his biggest worry in my eyes in this fight is if he can actually get close enough and often enough with Fury's massive reach advantage. Because if Tyson's able to keep him at bay, Usyk's going to have struggles landing. Expect to see Fury using this advantage heavily all night.
But how do you deal with somebody who's like that? And I've got an 86-inch reach. So he's going to jump in with his jab, I'm just going to go pop. Where's he going to go? Here. He's got 74-inch arms. So unless I go on, hit me all about the head, he's not going to land on me, is he?
So in a nutshell, I'm predicting a cagey start, then a seriously bullish and aggressive Fury in the midsection. I reckon the more Usyk lands, the more Tyson will rough him up, smother him, and it wouldn't be a surprise to see a point or two deducted for Fury at some stage. He just can't let Usyk have his way, so expect this fight to get very dirty. But overall, I just see Usyk being able to figure out what Fury's doing, and with his quality movement, I reckon he'll be able to somehow work his way in to land a regular flurry of shots. I mentioned Fury's fitness being good for this fight, but this man always lives the life of a world-class athlete, and I reckon he'll be at complete peak fitness, allowing him to fight at a lethal pace, just like he usually does. And unless Fury can nullify this, I reckon he could get overwhelmed for the majority, especially late on when he's getting tired. So I got to favour an Usyk decision win myself, but I can fully understand the Fury pickers. I mean, we know Fury's going to tackle the body heavily, and it certainly is vulnerable, so who knows. But I just don't know if the work rate will be able able to match the Ukrainian, and I can't help but resort back to two fights where Tyson had absolute nightmares, the southpaw Otto Wallin and the former cruiserweight Cunningham. He's on record saying how hard the Cunningham fight was, so combine this with a man who's the same frame but leagues above Cunningham, who just happens to be a southpaw. That to me makes me think that this man could be all wrong for the Gypsy King, but there we are. So let me know your thoughts below, Who wins? And be nice, Fury fans. I'm only throwing out my silly little shitty prediction. Don't get the fucking hump. But big up both men. I can't ruddy wait. You're all legends. Au revoir for now. Enjoy Saturday. See you later.